Another Lunch and Learn, our third of the week. You know, we've done some of these in the past, but this week we're hitting you every day. Our third one of the week. We have a very special guest here, Mr. Donnie Bryant. Now, in 1 second, I'm going to tell you about Donnie and what Donnie, he's sitting there like the boss because the man is the boss, right? You can tell by his demeanor and the look on his face. He's chomping at the bit for me to throw him a copywriting question. But before I do that, let me remind you guys, if you haven't been watching all week, Monday, we actually had Donnie's partner with Email Copy Boss, Conrad Diaz. Conrad was here, talked about copy. Yesterday, we had Tyron Spear. Tyron came and talked about Amazon, how to make money on Amazon. And, you know, you can watch those replays here in the group. Again, if you don't know, my name is Lamar Tyler. I'm the founder of Traffic Sales and Profit, where we teach you how to drive more traffic into your business, whether it's online, offline, whatever it may be. We also tell you how to convert more sales. And then last but not least, and most importantly, we tell you how to grow and increase the amount of profit that you make. Not about revenue, we're all about profit. So without further ado, we are joined by a very special guest, Donnie Bryant. Now, a lot of you guys know Donnie here in the group because Donnie has been a very engaged member when he's not off, you know, writing $1 million copy, right? He's in here answering questions, mixing it up, rubbing elbows with folks. I'm excited. Donnie, all these folks we had this week are speaking at our event, TSP Live, June 9th and 10th in Atlanta. But I'm excited because I've never actually met Donnie or Conrad in person. So I'm looking forward to meeting these guys in person when they come down to Atlanta to share what they know and the jewels they have for you guys around copy. And not just around, you know, copy, but copy that's going to make you cash. Donnie, thanks for joining us, man.
I'm excited to be here, and you set me up where Tyron had a great session yesterday. Conrad had a great session. You always catch Conrad in the strangest places. I do, but I mean, whenever you catch him, he's hiding out over here, or he's making moves over here, so it's fun. But I'm looking forward to contributing and kicking it with the folk.
Awesome. And what's going on? I see Karan has joined us. She's been here every day picking up these nuggets. Guys, if you're watching, do me a favor, drop a comment in the box or something so I can know who's here and who's actually watching along with us. So, Donnie, before we even get, you know, too far into it, for those that don't know what a copywriter does, or they're just like, okay, does he write for the newspaper? Like what exactly this guy is he like, you know, editing books? What is he doing? What is a sales and marketing copywriter such as yourself? What do you do?
We put it in very simple terms. We write stuff to help people sell stuff. That's it. And it's either for ourselves or for our clients. But if you put it in the simplest terms, we write stuff to help people sell stuff.
I love it. And how does that come about? Like, what's your backstory? How'd you get into this kind of field?
It was crazy. It didn't happen on purpose. I had, you know, come up through the ranks doing retail and sales jobs, just like most people do. I always kind of liked writing, and I thought that maybe I would be a writer one day, although I really did think I would probably write nonfiction books. I was into science and all that stuff as a youngster. And I was working a job that I hated, Kmart. Some of my people know this story. I was working as an assistant manager, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, horrible conditions. They've actually sued Kmart for the way they treated my particular class of people, of assistant managers. But I said, I got to do something else because I had 3 kids at the time. My wife was feeling neglected because she was being neglected. And actually, when I used to leave the house, my daughter would stand by the door and cry.
Wow.
You know, this is just missing. I was never home. So I said, I got to do something else. And I just started kind of Googling, you know, ways to make money, and providentially came across copywriting. And I said, maybe I can do this, and dove right into studying, and took a couple of months to, you know, do some studying. And then I started harassing people about trying to get work. And then took about 2 years before I made much money. But after that, you know, it's gone really well since then.
Now, when you talk about it going really well, like what are some, and I've heard, you know, some of these stories, but for the people that are watching, like what are some of the more successful campaigns that you've worked on? Like, what does a successful campaign that you work on look like?
I do a lot of different things in different little niches. I did one. It was very successful for him, but I'll give a couple stories. This guy who had it was a relationship advice business. And he had been doing it for a number of years, had a really big audience, and could not figure out for the life of him how to make money out of it at all. Like, he tried, totally flopped. And he reached out to me through a guest article that I did for a big newsletter. And we started talking, and we launched his product. It was a $10 product. It was like a year's worth of advice. You get advice every day. Anyway, it was $10. We sold 1,000 of them on the first night. Like I said, previously he had 0 sales, or I don't know if it was 0, but it was next to 0, not even worth mentioning. And he had given up for like a year. He's like, there's no way for me to make this work. He was passionate about it, so he did it, but he wasn't planning to get paid from it. Until we did this, set it up. I helped him write some emails and a landing page. It's really pretty simple. He already had the audience. He did the hard work. But it was just figuring out how to convert the audience into customers. Mm-hmm. So through the emails and the landing page, he converted. I remember it was like right around bedtime. He said, "We got $9,900 whatever dollars. I'm excited." And then he sent me one more. It was a text or an email. I can't remember. "We hit $10,000 today. I'm going to bed." And after that, he was able to quit his job and go, do full time in his own business. Like I said, I can take credit for it, but he built an audience. He built the relationships, gained the trust, and all those things. And I just helped him tweak that audience of, viewers or followers into buyers. And that's one story. Another story would be something like one that I've been kind of bragging about recently. A big financial publisher with, I can't remember, it's 500,000 people on their list or something like that. They reached out to me to create a long sales page. When I say long, I mean 5,000 words. So it's long. And a bunch of emails and ads and stuff like that. And actually, they won't tell me how much money it's made. They send me early results, and now they won't talk to me anymore because they don't want to tell me how much money that I made for it. But we've been talking about it because they keep running the exact same copy. Usually you'll run a promotion and it lasts for a month and that's it. It's been running virtually unchanged since January. Right. They keep running it, keep sending emails, keep getting sales. And I know for a fact in the first week we had, I don't remember the numbers. Conrad actually did the math. I didn't even think about it. I wrote it and moved on to the next thing. Actually, I'm expecting to do some more work with them. And I'll probably demand that they give me up-to-date numbers, but didn't even have time to think about it. Just went to the next thing. But it was over $100,000 in sales in the first 7 days.
Wow. Hey, I had a great question. It ties right in with that. Karan wanted to know why are those sales pages so long? And I know that's a question I often hear a lot of times from people that aren't like directly, always doing direct marketing, internet marketing type of stuff. Like, why do they make the sales pages so long?
Well, I can tell you that we try everything. We test long versus short. We test fear versus greed. We test video versus text. And we only do the things, over time you learn what works. And they're long because they work. Usually if you're selling something very simple and low cost, you can have a shorter page. But in these, when you're seeing really long sales pages, we're usually asking you to make a big commitment, either now or a little bit down the road. So it could be like this particular product I'm talking about, we sold $100,000. I don't know, by now it's probably in the millions someplace. But it was a $40 product. But on the back end of the $40 product is a $2,000 upsell. So we kind of have to we have to show you how big the opportunity is. And you can't really do that in 400 words. It takes time to show you what's out there, why the changes that we're telling you are coming we got to prove to you that they're coming and help you to see it and believe it to be true, and then believe that I'm the right guy to help you use this opportunity for your own benefit, and then show you specifically this is how you take advantage of it, and then reassure you that that's the right choice. So in order to do all of those things, it takes time. It's just like if you're on a sales call with somebody. You don't say, you got 30 seconds to sell me. Well, somebody might say that to you, but you won't tell yourself, I'm only going to take 30 seconds to sell this. You can have the conversation until the sale's made or until you know it ain't. So we write long because it works. That's a simple way of saying it. We write longer because we found that longer almost always works better for products that require a large degree of trust or a large degree of money.
All right, I love that. I want to make sure you guys pick that up. If you've been to one of our traffic sales and profit events, you know I'm always talking about, 3 steps of product creation, product launches, whatever it may be. You got to launch, analyze, and optimize. And Donnie is really giving you guys nuggets on that analyze piece because it's all about testing, right? Over and over again and really getting to the bottom of it. People ask in the group, what's the best way to do X, Y, and Z? And I say, you're going to hate me when I tell you this, but there is no best way. You really have to find out what it is that your audience connects with, what it is your audience responds to. It's based on, who those people are, what their pain points are, what their emotional state is, what the actual product and service that you're offering is, what your position and standing with those people. I mean, there's so many factors that you have to test. So how Donnie broke that down, I want to make sure you guys, are picking that back up with all the different ways he said, they actually go through and test to see what's working. And then the other piece of it is just yesterday, I was speaking with somebody here on my team in the office about this. But Donnie talked about how, like, the company he did create a copy for, they had a hit, and they've still been consistently running that hit since January to now. And I was sharing with my team yesterday that oftentimes a mistake I see people make is they actually make a hit. They get some success, and it doesn't have to be on a big multi-million-dollar scale. It could be, hey, I put $100 in the Facebook ads and I made $400, right? And that's a huge success. But what happens is they stop there. And that weekend that they put that in, they stop and now they got a great story to tell. But when we do that, what I'm always looking at is if I can get in 100 and get out 4, can I put in 1,000 and get out 4,000? Can I put in 10,000 and get out 40? Can I put in 100 and get out 400,000? Right. So, encouraging you guys, like there's some nuggets already being dropped. Make sure you guys are picking those up. Do me a favor, guys, as you were watching, if you have questions, just like Karan did, go ahead and drop them into the comments, and we'll be pulling up some of those and asking Donnie live while we have his attention here before he gets back to writing for millions. Donnie, while we're waiting for those questions, I asked this to Conrad the other day, right? He had some great answers. What do you think are the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to creating their own copy? When they're doing, whether it's emails or they're doing sales pages, landing pages, what are some of the biggest mistakes they make when they're writing?
Well, interestingly, Conrad said it on a totally different topic, but the biggest mistake people make is skipping the research. You have to understand your audience. You have to, because there's no way you can guess what they want. There's no way you can guess the emotions behind what they want. There's no way you can really guess any of those things. And why do that when they'll tell you, like Conrad mentioned, there's tools and places you can go and find this information. They're going to tell you. And like you said, in their own words, they're going to tell you what they want, why they want it, what they hate about stuff that's in your category and people in your category. And you can learn so much. They can tell you how to sell to them. So if you're not doing that, and like what Tyron said, you can check and see if this thing is, nobody can sell it. Or this is how the one person can sell it does. You won't find that out if you don't go and do the research. So the number one mistake people make is underestimating the importance of and just feeling like my gut will tell you. I shared in our group, Conrad and I have a email copywriting corner group. And I shared something from President Obama's reelection campaign. And if you didn't know, these guys were testing 12 subject lines per day for their fundraising things. You don't know what's going to work. So you test 12 and then you learn something. You scale out from there. And that's really the reason that he won was market research, I'm telling you, and implementation of what he learned in the research. So I think time and again. That's also how we know that a 90-minute sales video. You think, why would I watch a 90-minute video sales? Who does that? But in a meeting with big guys, and they said, we tried the 45-minute, we tried the 60-minute one. We tried the 60-minute, tried the 75-minute one. 75-minute one won. We tried the 75-minute and versus the 90-minute version. And the 90-minute version, when the bigger they get in this particular space, the more money they make. And also you say, why would you sit and watch that when you could read it? You can skim. Videos in this space beat text every time. So you had to test for yourself to find it, but things that you think are totally, you would never expect it, you're not normal. You're not like your customers, believe it or not. Yeah. So you just let them tell you what they want and how they want it. And the best way to know for sure, I mean, they're going to tell you, but you know for sure by watching what they actually do. What are they buying? What are they clicking on? And all those things. And that's real information. Because what you want is dollars in the bank. So let the dollars in the bank guide your your decision making. And the next biggest mistake, and we'll move on to the next thing maybe, is being boring. No matter what you're doing, nobody will be bored into buying from you. You know, so don't think that you can just write anything and people are obligated to read it. They won't. Don't think that you can just say anything and not tie it to their personal experience and their emotions and think that they're going to engage with it. They won't. There's other more interesting things to read. There's cat videos to watch, right? So that's what they're going to go do. Yep. You have to capture their attention. You have to keep their attention by being interesting, and you have to tell them what's in it for them in order for them to stay engaged. And boring doesn't fit in there anywhere.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's on point. We have people co-signing in the comment section, and you know what? It's amazing, right? Karana, I threw her comment up a bit ago. She said the common thread in every one of these lunchtime sessions is do your research. So guys, if that's coming up every day in different conversations after different questions, different topics, that should be telling you something. And Donnie, what you just touched on, it actually took me back 2 weeks ago. I just did a flash training here in Atlanta, and I was kind of going over the differences between benefits and features, right? And talking about how as product creators, we're so drawn on the features and how long it is and the type of media we can, you know, we sell it to them in and you know, it's, right. You know, 38 pages and, you know, 2 hours of content. And I was kind of sharing that people, what they buy, the reason they buy is because of the benefit, right? What's the transformation they're going to receive? How's this going to help them out in life? Like, what are they going to feel like in the future? What are they going to get in the future emotionally they don't have now? And one of the people in the class, you know, kind of raised their hand, and she said, "Well, when I'm on a page, I look for all of those. Like, I love all of the features, right? And I want to know all the features and how many calls do I get? And how long is each call? And all those different types of things." And I was sharing exactly what you said. You are not your customer,
right?
And you are on the other side. You are super techie. You know, most of your customers probably are not. So all the tech lingo and the things that, you know, kind of raise your antennas may not do it for your customer, depending on who your customer base is. So it was just what you said, right? I think, guys, as you're watching, a lot of times we have to get out of our own head, get out of our own way, and really focus on. Now, you could have customers that are like you, but oftentimes your customers are not who you are. And it's really getting to the bottom, testing, doing that research, as Donnie has talked about, to really uncover who is that person, what is it that drives them, and what's that emotional tie my product or service can have with them to help them overcome whatever their challenges and issues are. So I love
the truth is, you still got to cover the features and things.
Yep.
But that's not the thing that makes them buy. So you get to put in the stuff that I'm really passionate about. The fact that I got 300 pages. I'm proud of that. That's good. Nobody really wants to read a 300-page book. You feel proud about it because it's an accomplishment for you. What they want to know is, what is this going to do for me? And if you could do it for me at 15 pages, actually, I would prefer that. I can hit it, go do it. So, you know, it's the feature is cool to you, but you got to realize that the reason that they buy is not because you sat down and wrote 300 pages, because you can help me accomplish a goal. You can help me get rid of this problem that I've got, or you can help me reach this goal that I've got. You can help me look good in front of my neighbors, because guess what? My neighbors, I want to be better than them. I shouldn't feel that way. My next door neighbor, I was dropping my kids off or take my kids to the bus this morning. And the neighbor says, "Oh man, the other neighbor's truck sounds terrible. You're judging my neighbors. But anyway, that's what we do. So like, I check because I know that my engine is ticking a little bit. I got to get that fixed because I don't want him talking to the other neighbors about how my engine don't sound great. So it's like, that's how we think about things. Can you help me get my car straight so my neighbors aren't judging me? That's just a little tiny example. You said, I have all these tools. Like, that's cool, but are my neighbors going to feel less inclined to make fun of me behind my back now? That's just one thing. But, that's the thing that sells, is me feeling better about my life after the fact, feeling confident that I can go get what I want now because you've helped me.
All right, awesome, man. I got a great question just came in from LaMonica. LaMonica said, when you sit down and write a long form email, which guys, we got to make, before we leave, I got something for you guys that are sitting down and write emails. We got something we got to mention that Donnie has available for you guys. But LaMonica said, when you sit down and write a long form email, do you use a specific formula? Do you start from the end, call to action, or do you begin with crafting a subject line? Like, how does that work out? What do you advise on that, Donnie?
Well, it'd be like what you said. Every instance is kind of unique. I can't say for my financial, probably 65-year-old white guys with $100,000 that they want to make into $1 million. The same that I talk to first-time mothers who just want to go to sleep tonight, without having to get up every 15 minutes. By the way, that's my experience. I had twins when I was 20 years old, and sleeping in 30-minute increments. I feel your pain. I do. But so everything is a little bit different. Me specifically, I have a number of kind of structures that I use to write emails. I never start with the CTA because maybe I shouldn't say this, but that to me is the least important part of the email. Like, if you do everything else right, the CTA is just, where do I get on this thing? Call to action is, okay, click here and get it. You do kind of want to tell them exactly click here now to get this. But you don't really start there. That's kind of incidental if you do everything else right. Subject lines are tricky. They're super important, like ridiculously important. So don't get hung up on that. Sometimes you just put whatever seems like a cool idea at the time. Here's how you save 20 months on writing emails. And then you get into what's the most dramatic thing that I can say right now. It also kind of depends on where this communication is happening. But the body of the email, you write it, and as you're doing that, that will kind of guide you toward what is the most exciting way for me to frame the body here. Because the thing that you want to say is in the body. And then you figure out the most dramatic, most exciting, most curiosity-inducing way of presenting that, and that becomes your subject line. Yeah, subject lines are easy to get caught up on, get stuck on, because they're so hard. But if you try and do it first, you'll never write the rest of the email. Copywriting greats from all down time have often said, the headline of the subject line, it might be the last thing you do. Because as you're doing your research, as you're writing through the body copy, you'll find getting the writing thing happening brings out the most interesting part. So if you put a lot of pressure on yourself in advance of writing the body, you've kind of used your energy wrong and your enthusiasm wrong. Get into the body and then bring out the subject line after the fact. If you have to have a subject line so that your mind says, check, I can move forward, write something down, but don't put too much pressure on it until after you've started writing. And then something will probably come to you that's better than the first thing that you wrote down. And just make sure you go back and that be the last thing that you check to make sure it's really strong. So it's important, but because it's so tricky and it's so important, it can get you stuck. So don't make that the first thing you do. I usually make it the last thing. I write something there, or unless something comes to me, and then it's like I write it down. I got a notebook. I write down subject line ideas all the time. But still, in Conrad, I'll tell you the same. I have 20 versions of the subject line that you're kind of wrestling with and trying to figure out which is the one that you want to use. You can always A/B test or whatever to see which one works best. That doesn't really answer the question, does it? Do I have formulas? Yes, but I'm kind of an organic writer. I have basic structures in mind, and I write and then see how it flows, and then I move things around.
Yeah.
We can share those if you want. I'll bring whatever you want at TSP Live. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything that I got. That's what I decided. There's no point in holding anything back because we want to make businesses change. Period. And I don't have anything to hide, so just come to the event.
Here we
I'll
go.
give you everything.
I like the sound of that, guys. So again, if you join us late, if you didn't know, this is Donnie Bryant. He's one of our speakers coming to TSP Live, Traffic, Sales, and Profit Live, June 9th and 10th here in Atlanta. If you don't have your tickets yet, let me put up the link for you. It is www.tsplivetickets.com is the website. You can see all the information, all of the speakers. You can see the agenda. This is going to be an epic event. For those who went last year, or you guys that were in the group and didn't go, you saw how much energy, how epic it was, how amazing it was. And what we're saying this year, inside of our office, the slogan, the mantra for TSP Live 2017 is twice as good, because we intend on making it twice as good as it was last year, from the VIP day on Thursday to my two general sessions on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be amazing. So check out tickets there, tsplivetickets.com. Prices go up. Prices go up May 1st, less than 2 weeks away. So you can be the person that waits and pays $150 more than what you can pay today and still get the same level of access that everybody else that got their tickets for cheaper. And it'll still be, way more valuable than that. You'll still learn a lot. You'll still get actionable items that you can run and take advantage of right now. But if I didn't have to spend the extra money, I wouldn't spend it. I'd jump on and do what I need to do today. So Donnie and Conrad, his partner with Email Copy Boss, are coming to the event. He just told you they're going to share everything they have. Donnie, for the folks that are coming to TSP Live, what should they expect? Now, the other day, Conrad told me you had like a Colombian mercenary technique or something. I don't remember what it was called. But what's some stuff they can expect from you guys?
It's a Rhodesian mercenary technique.
There we go.
That's right. It's a little gory, but the way that we've explained it will be very powerful for our people who show up. This, I'm telling you, if you ask what is this, goes into everything that I do. Even if I have 100 words, like when I'm writing little space ads, got 100 words, you still got to get this technique in there, because that's how you sell. That's how you convince people, how you move people from, casual observers into I gotta do something about this. So yeah, come down and find out about that. What we want to do is tell you what you have to do before you sit down at the computer, so that when you do sit down at the computer, or typewriter, if that's how you do it, nobody still has those, do they? However you write, before you sit down, once you sit down, in a way that you can structure your emails or your sales pages or your Facebook ads, whatever, how you can write copy that will not just sound nice to you. Like, poetry is cool and all that, right? But what we want is something that will make people pull out their credit card and buy something. That's what we want to do. Tell you how you have to think and how you have to build your copy, and whatever else comes up. But that's why I'm excited about the night session, because the day session, we got a structure. We got 60 minutes to make it happen. When we get to the Q&A, it's going to go by so fast, it's not even going to be funny. The night session, we might be up till 3 a.m.
And Donnie, I didn't mention for these folks what we're doing in the night session. Donnie and Conrad are doing live analysis of your copy. So this is this is why TSP Live is different, right? It's one thing to just go somewhere and just, sit and listen to a group of people talk. But like I said, we have, the sessions are an hour and a half. Like you don't go to, like most places you go, it's 45 minutes, an hour tops, hour and a half sessions. So we can deep dive in each one of these sessions. But then at TSP Live After Dark, right, we break for dinner. We come back at 7:30 and we start the night session. Donnie and Conrad are going to actually be critiquing your copy if you ain't scared. If you ain't scared right now, if you're scared, you can just come through and just sit in the cut, do what you got to do. If you're not scared, they're going to critique your copy right there on the spot. I mean, it's going to be epic. So I'm sorry, I had to make sure they knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. I didn't. Thank you for doing that. But I think that's going to be where the rubber hits the road, because you can say, we talked about all this stuff. How do I make it happen for me? Well, show up at the night session, put your big boy, big girl pants on, and let's actually make it happen for you that night so that you can send the email in the morning. You can send traffic to your landing page in the morning and have it work better right away. That's what we want to do.
I love it. And Karan said, Rhodesian mercenary technique is now on my wall. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So, guys, like I said, make sure you grab those tickets, tspLiveTickets.com. Prices go up on May 1st. So if you don't have them, make sure you're already in there. I believe Donnie and Conrad are actually going to be with us the whole weekend, hanging out, chilling. They'll be, just soaking in the atmosphere, their first live TSP event. So, we got to make sure we take care of those guys. And we want to make sure everybody in the group can, like Donnie, I'm excited for you guys to connect with many of the people you've been talking with online. Because as we've been doing these events, the group is cool. I mean, the group is solid. Like a lot of people say, it's the best group in on Facebook. But when we get together in person, man, it's the next level. I mean, it really is the next level of the energy, the camaraderie, how we all kind of support each other. So before we go, I want to make sure, Donnie, that we also talk about something new that you and Conrad have released. I've actually used it several times now. And, my plan is to actually use it again today. So if not today, I'll use it tomorrow. But that is emails that make sales. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about that? Yeah,
the emails that make, this what's crazy. You said, I plan to use it today, meaning I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to look at what it is. I'm going to write an email. I'm going to move on and believe that I'm going to get some results from it. And that's kind of what we've got. Emails that make sales is what Conrad calls an ever expanding. He's much more, poetic than I am. Ever expanding collection of ideas and execution examples that will allow you to do exactly that. If you said, what's today, the 19th? I'm gonna go, just go look. And the 19th will have an idea. So you don't have to think about what I'm gonna write about. I'm gonna write about this thing. You can if you want to, but if you need help, here it is. And then we give you 2-3 different ways that you can treat that particular idea. And that way it'll get you started. So we're talking about people getting stuck on their emails. It's like a rolling start, to get the momentum happening where you can make the email happen. And I mean, that's just part of it. I think that's a huge part because so many people don't write emails because they don't know what to say. We'll never have that issue again.
I'll tell you, if I can add in real quick, like the thing it does for me, because we're in a transition. So we kind of, we're transitioning staff right now. We got some new people coming in new positions. So a lot of the broadcast, not our automated emails, but broadcast emails, we actually, send out real time. We had somebody else that were doing them. So I really don't have a lot of time to do the stuff. But as I train up kind of like a new person in that role, and before I give them the keys to do everything, I'm sending out some of the emails. And besides like our base emails, there are always segments of our audience I want to do like little additional things for, like send out something additional for, but I don't have the time. And then, before you even sit down, the initial thing is just thinking about what you're going to write in the first place. And the thing I love about emails that make sales is like I can, get a hold of it. And like you said, I can flip to, hey, today's the 19th. What's the topic for today? It's a few different angles on how I can actually hit that topic. And besides, the topic and how I can hit it, if I don't, if I'm not feeling it or I don't have a connection with that one, I just flip the page to the next one, or I flip it, a few pages back because there's so many ideas in there. And that's just for this month. Like another one comes next month. It's so many ideas. It's crazy. Like I really want you guys to get a hold of this because one of the biggest things, like as we work with clients and when we get to like the email part about what they do, we have to really sit down and help them create a framework so that they'll know what to write about. Or they'll at least have an idea, because that's the hardest part. But I'm telling you, like with this, I literally now can be like, hey, you know what? I got the urge to send an email out later. I can just dive into this because with me, the hardest part is always what to write about. If I got an angle to do, I can start flowing. And that's what it gives me. I literally can like look at that 2-3 minutes later, I'm writing and I can just craft something. And then, hey, like you said, call to action part is easy once I know what to write about.
And that's kind of the idea why you're somebody who's an entrepreneur. They're really passionate about what they do. They really know it well. It's easy to get stuck with front ideas. So if you've got an idea, you know how to tie that back into what you do. You know how this pain point, is affecting your audience, or you know how this benefit is something that your audience is missing. And so the idea is, if you look at our idea, you may write about something entirely different, but the inspiration that comes when you think about what I've shown you, I don't even know what today is. I didn't look at it, but you'd be like, oh, okay. And then once you get going, that's the magic. And I told people at a $5,000 conference last year, I think I mentioned this to you, the hardest part is getting the momentum. But once you got the momentum, anything can happen. That's on a 100-word email. That's on a 5,000 word landing page. You got to get the momentum, and that's where your genius kind of leaks out. You never get to it if you don't write. Once the pen is moving, though, anything can happen. So we've got that for you. We've got the template, a template right now, which is what we were talking about earlier, the $100,000, it was more than $100,000 in 7 days. It was a 3-part series. We got copy, paste, send for you. You had to do a little bit of thinking, but fill in the blanks. And you got a 3-part email series that's I believe is gonna work really well for you. We call it the Intense Opportunity Curiosity Series. It's how to build some curiosity about a big opportunity that you're trying to sell. That's there for you in emails that make sales. We're doing interviews with successful people. Lamar, you're gonna be up soon.
Right.
Interviews where we want to give you some information from people who are making a bunch of money, they're doing really well in marketing, to get you deeper into your success as a boss in your business. So these are all things. And I think tomorrow we're pulling it. It's $100, just $100 one time for a year's worth of access to, like I said, you're going to get at least one email for every day of the year. You're going to get at least 2 or 3 different angles to play each of those ideas for every day of the year. You're going to get 6 trainings, at least 6 trainings. I don't want to promise more than that, but 6 trainings over the course of the year that will help you become more prolific, more compelling, more persuasive as an email marketer. And we're going to do every single month, we're going to interview somebody who you will want to hear about. They're going to help you become a better boss at your business. And by boss, I don't mean manager. I mean someone who's killing the game in your business. And like I said, it's normally $500 a year. Until tomorrow, whenever we pull this coupon code, it's just $100. Full year access to all of that stuff. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
guys. Yeah, we'll make it that cheap again, just in case you're wondering. We're just trying to let some early supporters in so we can make sure the experience is good and get some testimonials in, and then we're going way up from there.
Yeah, so I'm dropping that link into the comments right now, guys. The promo code is lowercase TSP. So we had some people try to uppercase the other day. They were about to give Conrad the business because he didn't specify that it was lowercase, but it's lowercase TSP. I put it up earlier, right? Who was it? Keandra said, hey, I got my emails that make sales yesterday. I couldn't pass it up. It really is that serious. And just to show you guys a real life example, because this is not hype or something. Actually, while Donnie was talking, I looked it up. So today's topic, if I can share it, Donnie, can I share about what today's topic is?
Go for it. Yeah.
So today,
you got more ideas. You know what to do with it.
Yep. So today's topic is keep it simple, stupid, right? And then it had like 4 different ideas on how you can kind of approach emails. So I was looking the other day, and I think the other day the topic was on something like I didn't necessarily have a connection for. So I just kind of skipped ahead a little bit. And by coincidence, what I landed on was today's keep it simple, stupid. And there was one angle in there that was called common sense success. And I love that. And what I did is I wrote an email, and we've been doing a lot around communication because we have a communication product with Black and Married with Kids, right? One of the many products we got. And we've been doing a lot of testing lately through email, through Facebook ads, optimizing blog posts, trying to get people from the site, from our emails and Facebook into a online course we have around communication. So I think I was pushing to an article. So I was pushing to an article that was kind of optimized with lead magnets and, content upgrades and sales offers, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to kind of get people there. So I did a common sense success, and I wrote it all about the fact that, it's kind of common sense that in order to succeed, you have to work at things. And I talked about gave some different analogies, how, in order to get here, you have to do this. In order to, get to this place, you have to do this. And then I kind of tied it into marriage and communication. and how, in order to have better communication, you have to be actively working towards making that communication better. But again, once I had the topic and once I saw that common sense success, boom, it just instantly clicked. I instantly, maybe like 5 minutes, was able to pull together an email that highlighted it, that talked about it, that had a great kind of analysis and tie into that overall theme, and then tied it into what my product was and a call to action. No, actually, I wasn't even pushing the product, just pushed to a blog post and a call to action for them to, read this article so they could get more information about how to actually make their communication better, right? And actually doing the work so that they could get that success, because it's common sense that you have to do the work in order to get the success. So right. It really is that simple, guys. I would encourage you. Let me throw it back up on the screen one more time. Email copyboss.com/emails-that-make-sales. Promo code lowercase TSP. Make sure you get it now. The price is going up from $100 to $500. It actually had already gone up, but I was singing the praises of the program the other day here in the group. So Donnie and Conrad hooked us up and said, okay, here in the group, here's a special promo code. So you can still get it at that price. I know people have been jumping in and taking advantage of it. But it's one of those things I tell people. Wasn't even supposed to be for anybody. And you shouted it out. We love TSP. We love building our community together. So we said, let's let folk in. So thank you for opening that door for the community. No problem. So I think it ties in as we kind of wrap, right? Whether it's, emails that make sales, is TSP Live. Always talk about the fact that what people look at most of the time is the upfront cost. And they get so caught and stuck on the mindset around, I don't know if I want to spend this much. I don't know if I want to, invest this much. Am I going to make my money back on it? That type of thing. And what I'll say is that, the reason I bought it, this is not something that Donnie and Conrad gifted me or gave me, or I'm an ambassador for it, so they promote. As soon as I saw them post about it, I said, I'm going to make way more than $100 on this product. So let me hurry up and get that fast. So that's the mindset shift I want you guys to make, because a lot of you need to make that shift. Always talk about opportunity cost. And everybody's always worried about the upfront cost. But what's the opportunity cost? What does it cost you if you don't get emails that make sales? How much time is it costing you when you sit down, try to figure out an email to send, and then never even send the email out anyway? How much money is that costing you? How much money is it costing you because you say, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to spend, a few $100s to attend TSP Live. I don't know if I want to take off work. Well, what is it costing you by not being there? By not getting tips, tricks, strategies, and basically what you'll learn is information from people that are further down the road from you in those topics. I had somebody ask me, well, Lamar, I'm already doing a few different things, making some money. Is it worth me coming? And my response was, hey, I can guarantee that 9 times out of 10, you don't know more than everything I know, plus everything Donnie knows, plus everything Conrad knows, plus everything Amber knows, plus everything Tyron knows, plus everything Mike from Profit First knows, plus everything Jamal, as it goes on and on. The goal is not for you to come and consume 48 to 72 hours of information and leave with that. The goal is for you to come and get one big idea, one big implementation tactic that you can leave with that can change your whole business. We saw it happen in our June event, the game plan. We saw it happen at TSP Live last year. All it takes, y'all, is one idea. But in order to get that idea, you have to be listening to the right people. You have to be in the right atmosphere with other people like-minded that are working hard towards their success. And you have to take action once you leave. Guess what? Those things don't happen if you don't show up. Yeah. And you know what? On Saturday, I know it's time about that time. Saturday, Conrad was telling me a story about one decision that he didn't make last year that cost him 6 figures. One decision. Yep. I said, you don't even want to do that math. He said it's over 100,000. I'm not sure. I said, you might not want to do that math because it's going to make you real mad. Just one decision that he didn't make. This could be that decision for you, $100,000. Or, like I said, I think that Tyron's going to help me make $1 million. I don't know anything about Amazon, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn in June. That's it. And that's I think what I really try to get through to entrepreneurs is just that, right? You can come and get a hold of any one of these sessions. It could be the copywriting session. That's a 6 or 7 figure session. It could be the Amazon. That's a 6. Like you could build a 6 or 7 figure business off of that session. I'm teaching on, I'm doing a deep dive on traffic. I'm doing another deep dive on sales. Those are 6 or 7 figure sessions. I mean, like any one of these, all you got to do is be there and get a hold of it. Not to mention the fact that oftentimes when you just show up, there are other people like our community is so thick. There are other people in the audience. There are people running, multi-million-dollar businesses in the audience, in the seats. What information can they give you at lunchtime, at dinner time, in the hallway? Just not even coming
from the stage. Link up and work together on that you never would have even known about if you didn't sit next to them in the session or at lunch. Like you doing this, and then boom, joint venture time, and joint venture is some of the easiest money that you'll ever come across.
It is. I always tell people always ask Lamar, what do you wish you had changed, or what do you wish you had did different, or if you can go back and change things. And what I say is I would have connected faster with people that have already been where I'm going. Yeah. And I think that really slowed our progress down because everything we did, we eventually got there, but we learned it on our own. And we did it the slow way, and we did it what I consider the hard way of trying to, figure out, reinvent the wheel, trying to learn things from scratch, trying to, get all this information and apply it and work through it and launch it and analyze, optimize all on our own. But then as soon as I started going to the events where the people that already had million-dollar, multi-million-dollar businesses were, then boom, my business shot up to that. When I started going to and connecting with coaches and consultants that had already built the audiences I wanted, that had already scaled their business to the size I wanted, that already built teams like the team I wanted, then it was nothing to build a team or to have the process to do it down because it was somebody just say, hey, don't do this, do that. This is how you get there. Don't make the same mistakes I did, and this is what you need. So, I go on all day about this. You can see it's one of my passionate points. If
they come and learn from my mistakes, I'll save you 5 or 6 years, and I don't know how much in expenses and opportunity costs. And I'm sure you can say the same thing for everybody else who's going to be on the stage, and probably a lot of people in the audience as well. They've got nobody knows everything, like you said, and I don't need to learn everything. But if you know something that you can save me years of struggle with, it's well worth $400, $500, $1,000 to be there.
Yeah, and it's much more valuable. We'll be raising that price in the film. This is my hook 'em up stage to kind of get the audience engaging in it. But we will be raising that price. Definitely worth more. All right, guys. So we want to thank again Donnie for showing up, man. We will see you in June, TSP Live, June 9th and 10th here in Atlanta. Any last words, or how can people get a hold of you or get in contact with you?
I try to ignore everybody. Except I like TSP, the TSP group on Facebook, and my own group, of course, which is email Copywriting Corner. But other than that, I ignore people. If you email me, it takes 5 or 6 days for me to email you back. You send me a text message, you never get a message back. And if you call my phone, if you can get my number, which actually ain't that hard to find my number, I never answer the phone. And you get a rude voice message that says, if you don't leave a message, you won't get a call back. So just, like Tyron said, if you hit me up in TSP, the TSP group, I'll get back with you. Or if you request access to email Copywriting Corner, I'm in there every day trying to help people out over there. So that's the best way, I think.
There you go, guys. And make sure you join that group, email Copywriting Corner. I dropped the link earlier down in the chat, so you can scroll down and find that. All right, thanks, Donnie, man. Appreciate you for being here. I'm looking forward to email Copy Boss session at Traffic Sales and Profit Live, and definitely that TSP after dark copy critique session. I got a feeling that's one of the hottest moments of the conference, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I think you need to bring some caffeine because it's going down.
All right, guys. So we appreciate you. Thanks, everyone, for viewing. Tomorrow, we're wrapping up the week. Friday, I'm speaking. Shout out to Dr. Dre. I'm speaking. Not that Dr. Dre, not Beats by Dre, but Dr. Dre of in his Medical Moguls Academy. I'm speaking here in Atlanta at Momentum in Medicine. It's a conference for medical doctors that are building their own brands, are building their own platforms and businesses outside of medicine or around their different passions. So we won't be able to do one Friday because I'll be ready to hit the stage around that time. But tomorrow we're wrapping up the week. We're switching times a little bit. So 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, we got my girl coming from California, Amber Wright. Amber is the conversation coach Amber is speaking at TSP Live as well. We continue to just giving you a taste of who's going to be there. And at the TSP Live, she's going to talk about how you really can craft a pitch, whether it's verbal when somebody asks you, what do you do? Or whether it's written through your bio, through your website, things like that, so that you can really articulate what your business is about. You can perfect that pitch so that you can begin to make money and not lose sales, leave money on the table. You'll get all at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow when Amber Wright joins us, and we will see you here. Thanks a lot for joining, guys, and we'll catch you next time tomorrow.
Thanks, Lamar.